Hi there and welcome in. It's your friend and success coach and hopefully soon to be master's student here, Tamara Payne, coming to you live from Utila Island, Honduras. And I wore my Utila shirt for you all just to make sure you knew where I was in case you weren't sure geographically, where in the world am I? So welcome in, so glad to have you. So before we get going, the recording has already started. So if you're coming in, make sure you're on mute. And I would like us all to go ahead and close our eyes. Of course, if you're driving, it's not safe to do so. But if you're seated, let's close our eyes and arrive into the here and now, taking a deep abdominal breath. I'll begin by introducing you to a yoga breath, which is called Ujjayi breath, where we breathe in and out through our noses and we make a hollow ocean sound at the back of the throat. So let's go ahead and do that. Inhaling through the back of the throat and the nose, exhaling. Two more like that. Last one together. And gently batting your amazing eyelashes open and just knowing that I'm so glad to have you all here. So I was realizing that my first experience with meditation was 31 years ago. So a little while ago, I had been invited to a Buddhist temple in Southern California, where Mama Lucy and I both grew up. And in that process, I walked into this nun environment and monk environment of Buddhist monks and nuns. And it was the most accepted and loved that I ever had felt in my entire 17, 18 years prior to that on this short planet. And so it left an impression on me. I got to explore all the different religions of the world and had been raised in Christianity. And so it was really a neat first introduction for me to meditation. I had also experienced a near-death experience, an NDE. About 4% of us on the planet have had NDEs, and that was back in 1983. So a little over 40 years ago. I bled to death, had a nosebleed and bled to death. I was a little girl, and I actually got to be able to see my human body from 10,000 feet above. So I actually got to learn then really about metaphysics, which metaphysics is the study of philosophy, of oftentimes where science ends, physical sciences end, and where a lot of us call it esoteric, or a lot of people call it woo-woo, a lot of people call it new age, but really the study of metaphysics is really incredible and profound. And so I began my unofficial study of it back in 1983 from the near-death experience when I could see through the hospital where I was dead, and I could see my great-grandmother through the hospital walls. Like half the walls were real physical and half the walls were energetic. And so that I had no idea that that would really begin me on my trajectory into human consciousness, into the studies that I'm now working towards my PhD in. So I'm so humbled to have you say yes and to be part of this experiment. The experiment that has been approved is a master's thesis, and it is to prove, does meditation affect and attract prosperity? That's the question that I'm looking to answer. And so all of you, how do we prove, what's prosperity, right? Prosperity is so much more than physical money. Can you imagine a billionaire only being a millionaire? They wouldn't be considered to be prosperous in their own mind, right? So it's all about how we view things, all about how we look at ourselves and how, successful our relationships are and how great or not so great of a communicator. I think that our health is our wealth, right? And so how healthy our physical body is, our emotional body, our brain, all of our organs, how are we in our community? It's a lot more than just our financial net worth. But all high net worth individuals know their net worth to the penny pretty much every single month of their lives. And so the best way to begin to assess is by just taking our net worth. And so then we will take our net worth, we'll begin today and tomorrow, taking our net worth, writing it down, understanding what it is. I've sent you, most of you, a spreadsheet so that you could just get an understanding of what it looks like. You can do it on pen and paper. You don't have to do it electronically, but you can. And it makes the calculation a whole lot easier, but that's okay. And so then at the end of our meditations, I hope you do them along with me, but if not, you can do them on your own. The meditations will be between 2 and 10 minutes, just depending on the day, depending on what subject matter we're working towards. Right now, I have recorded day 1, which is joy, a very brief 2-minute meditation. And day 2 is picking an emotion and a vibration and allowing it to rain down your body. That's going to be our day 2. And I suspect that our day 3 will begin to really work deeper into gratitude. We'll also begin to work on some different brain patterns and brain waves as well through the guided meditation with me. So I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really excited to see what happens. Of course, out of 70, there's actually, I realized 71 of us in the study. That means that we're going to have outliers. We're going to have somebody who wins the lottery. We're going to have somebody yesterday who paid off $110,000 worth of, or had $110,000 worth of her debt forgiven because of her 19 years of service as a teacher. So I can't wait to see how that all, comes together as an average for us all. But this is really unheard of. So my thesis advisor is really excited for us, and I'm excited for us. So the purpose of tonight's call was just to guide you through where we're going and where I hope for us to be. It's very auspicious that we're ending this on the 40th day, which is the 30th of November, which is my biologic mom's 72nd birthday. And so we get to hopefully have great results and great news on her behalf for her. And so happy to have her here tonight and as part of it. So that's all that I can think of as far as an introduction. I want you to unmute yourself and let me know if you have questions, because I guarantee you, if you have a question, then somebody else out there of the group may or may not yet. So fire away. Hi, Mama Lucy. Hi, Dan and Sheila. Mama Lucy, you want to go first, please?
Okay, baby. I didn't have time to really peruse the Excel spreadsheet. I did pull it up. In fact, I'm looking at it now. Can we go over that so real quickly, if you don't mind, if you have time?
Sure. So net worth in traditional business school, and the way that I was taught as well, is assets minus liabilities equals net worth. It's just a simple business formula, if you will. So assets are anything that has a value to it. So it can be a home, it can be a car, it can be a bicycle. In our case, it could be our motor scooters that are sitting right outside. It can be anything that has a tangible asset value you put down on that left column. And then on the right side are any type of liabilities or debts. And then at the bottom of the calculator, I've already input the formula for you. But of course, it may shift when you start to edit it and change it. I just did a little basic profile on it. So assets minus liabilities equals your net worth. We're going to take it, if possible, tomorrow, today or tomorrow, just so that we have that number written. And then at the end, we don't even need to really think about it. And then we're just going to really be meditating. But of course, it's going to be in the back of your mind of ways to create revenue streams and passive income and, different things. We're going to be doing this as a collective, right? So let's say all of us have an emotional IQ or a spiritual IQ of, let's say, 100 times 71 of us, and myself, 72 of us, then that means that, we have several hundred points, or thousands of points of collective consciousness and IQ that we're starting to move around this beautiful globe that is called the marble of Earth. So does that help you answer the question from the technical standpoint?
Yes, I just kind of wanted to go over it. I mean, I have like my own that I have, but it's a little bit different than what you have here. So,
Use what you have, whatever you have. It doesn't have to be that.
No, I know, but it's better if it's kind of conforming, it probably is, but I can adjust it accordingly. But
All
it
that
was,
matters to me is the percent at the end of the 40 days. That's all that matters to me. I don't want to know anybody's numbers. That's confidential financial information unless you need my help calculating it. If it's so grand.
yeah, it's so grand. That's why, yeah, yes, well, it has improved. That's true, but there's still, there's drawbacks too.
Okay.
But, okay, so then it says I meditated. So each day, are we supposed to go in here and,
No, this is the honor system, an open book system. You'll know if you were able to get to 30 or 40 days. It's just because I'm going to see some trends and I'm looking for trends scientifically. It's when we can combine the business world with the esoteric and metaphysical world. That's what we're doing together in this master's thesis, is that's my work to prove based on my participant results. And so if, for example, all of us who were 98% and above, 38, 39 days out of the 40, if we all had a positive net worth, or the majority of us have a net worth improvement, and it certainly was worth it. So you don't need to go and do the busy work unless you really like it, then great. You can also do a pen and paper with the tick marks of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. I don't care how you do it, just whatever makes it easiest for you. This is not homework. This is not busy work. This is spiritual growth work and net worth improvement. So do it however you need to do it. Does that answer that for you?
right? Well, I pretty much do anyway, but if we're doing it, so are you going to have, uh, you're going to send us the information on each of the meditation uh, excerpts?
No,
Doing that.
no. It's all on the YouTube station. That's the link there. The Everyday Superhuman. I only have 2 uploaded at this point, day 1 and day 2. This
Oh,
is considered the day 0 call, but I'll upload that once I get the recording. So yes, it's on our Everyday Superhuman YouTube station. It's already there, days 1 and day 2.
okay. So we go in and click on that then.
Yeah, you can press play and listen to that, or you can do it on your own too. It's
Okay.
totally okay with me because everybody's busy, everybody's in their own lives. So I can send that to you directly if that's a problem for you going on YouTube.
No, that should be okay. And we start tomorrow is our
We
start date.
start meditating technically on Monday, but I mean, it's always good to start meditating tomorrow. It's just extra credit.
I do pretty much anyway in the morning. If I don't,
But
for anybody
but
who's listening, if I don't meditate in the morning, if I don't get myself grounded in the morning, I can have a rough day. Let's put it
right.
that way.
But let's be clear, what you do and what I've witnessed is that you do affirmations, you read along to them, you don't do your own separate meditation. That's very different. Affirmations are a start. Affirmations are not actual meditation.
Got it.
Affirmations are a way to make sure that the record in your brain is going in a positive direction. Meditation is something separate from affirmations. So it's a very gray line, and it still counts, certainly, but meditation means stopping, closing your eyes, or you can be walking and doing it as well, but you're clearing your mind to make your mind open for this or something better, right? The same thing as we're laying hands on another human, we are praying and affirming that this or something better happens for them. That is the healing and balancing process, right? So that's what meditation does, is it opens your brain. It opens actually your crown chakra. So what you're doing with affirmations is still in a different brainwave pattern. It's still in alpha and beta brainwaves. So what we do with meditation is we're going into different brain waves. And I'm going to voice guide you through it, especially day 3 and beyond. I'm making it really brief, 2 minutes, and then 4 minutes for day 2. And then day 3 may be a little bit longer, just to help you, teach you basically brain training. So brain affirmations, writing affirmations and following those and reading those every morning is phenomenal. It's not a bad thing. But the meditation is that next grade up, if you will. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, beginning to use your imagination,
Mhm.
and to getting to that brain wave that's not that rote beta brainwave, that high beta brainwave that most of us who have been in jobs that we have to do things in a technique, in a way, in a style. We don't really have a lot of freedom in that and a lot of imagination in that. That's where the meditation cycle come in. So, for example, if every morning you want to close your eyes and just think of everything, all the textures and all the smells and all the wonder of being in your dream home where you live there already. So, keep dreaming, keep making sure, it's that always improving
Mm.
mindset. Does that answer that for you?
Right. And then back to the spreadsheet. So the first part is the initial spreadsheet, and then that second part is the final one. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, I just copied and pasted it and just put in a few extra formulas for you. So it should make it a little easier, to see if there's a shift and an improvement.
Okay.
That's all. Does that answer everything that you have? Because if you have it, somebody else has it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm not the only one with questions.
Nope.
I mute myself back, and then somebody else can talk.
Perfect. Dan and Sheila, did you all have some questions?
I just have one comment and one question.
Perfect. And it can change. You can have 17 of both.
The comment is love the YouTube channel name. Love it.
Everybody's a superhuman. We just have to unlock our superpowers and remember them. That's
And
right.
will you help me with my assets tomorrow?
100%.
Oh no, I'm asking Layla.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll mute.
Yeah, I'll help you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I actually have a question just to in line with that. I would assume that as long as my calculation at the beginning and my calculation at the end are the same calculator that I'm using or the same items that I'm using, then that's probably right, fine, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless, of course, there's some huge windfall that
Right.
comes your way, then you
New
have to add a
item.
new category. That's have to. Oh, how awful.
Yeah, right. No,
So-
I have mine calculated. I keep mine in a separate spreadsheet. So I just already have my calculator and that's the one I'm going to use if that's okay. So yeah,
And
perfect.
so Layla, what that means is you have a thermostat set for high net worth individual. You already have it set for yourself. That's what
if
it
only
means.
I was one.
Well, but we've got to keep taking those action steps because it's not just meditation, it's also the action behind it, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what you're also doing, having two littles in the household, is you're
Mhm.
also showing them a new direction and how to set themselves up to become a high net worth individual. This is one of the best analogies I look at it as. You're a mom to littles. And if they come up to you and they say, Mom, I want an ice cream cone,
Mhm.
and you talk about it, and okay, they get an ice cream cone, and let's say it's a hot day there in Texas, and they don't pay attention to it and they let it melt and it drops on the ground, and then all of a sudden they want two scoops now because they ruined their first scoop. They didn't have good stewardship. I mean, they're just being littles, no big deal.
Yeah.
Do you give them that second scoop, or what do you do as a loving parent?
I would love to give them the second scoop, but normally I can't, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then
that's
I
the way-
explain to them this is money related.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so it's exactly that way for universal principles, Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, that's the way it works in the universal law. It's
Yeah.
like we keep asking and asking, I want the double scoop of ice cream. I wasn't so respectful or good stewardship with the first scoop, but
Yeah.
please, please, please. We haven't shown our stewardship. So that's what assessing our net worth does, is it really puts it into pen and paper of what are we managing right now, no matter how fabulous it is, no matter how yucky it is, it's okay as long as we know and we're paying attention to it. On your own, Layla, before this, how often do you assess your net worth generally? Quarterly,
Probably every
monthly?
month. I probly update the calculator every month. Yeah. Yeah.
Shira, activate, okay? How in the world did you learn that?
That is when I was 14, I started to make significant money and I didn't know how to manage it. and bless my parents, they didn't really know how to manage it either. And so I had kind of I don't know, a downfall with it. I lost some of my money, and I thought, I can't let that happen again. And so I built a spreadsheet so that I would know every cent to my name and what I can expect. So it started literally with just a self-calculating spreadsheet that would take in all of my income and all my debits every month, and it would just go for a couple years. And so I would know kind of at the end of each pay period what I would have. And so I've probably got 14 different pages on that spreadsheet now.
Wow.
But one of them is a net worth calculator. So yeah.
I think that's incredible. And may I ask your biologic age?
Yeah, I'm 28.
So are we talking about multimillionaire before the age of 40? Most likely.
Gosh, I'd hope so. I'd
Why
hope
not?
so. Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not?
We're not on the right track right now, but well, that's
Yeah,
why
you
I'm
are.
here.
Yeah, you are. Actually,
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I think that you are very much on the right track because of you've now for double the time or half the time that you've been on this planet. So at age 14 to now at 28, 14 years, you've been in this habit. And so success leaves clues. And so you are on the positive trajectory. And you also, of course, understand meditation and this physical lifetime. Would you share with the audience what you do for work, please? Because it's really symbolic.
I work for a cemetery software company. I have a master's degree in thanatology, so the study of death and dying. I have a background in funeral work, death work, but I have switched kind of to the tech industry. Absolutely love it. Somehow, I love the corporate world. It's fun and challenging. And so yeah, I've been helping some cemeterians who have never even used a computer before to log where decedents are placed and what happens to their maps over time. They've literally done this by pen and paper. So I've been teaching them how to use a computer and use this really robust mapping software so that they can keep a historic record of where all of the loved ones that are in their care are located, for everyone in the future to find.
I think that's incredible. And because
It's really cool.
tomorrow marks 1 month ago that our friend passed away here on island.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very symbolic that, this is, I call you a death doula. And because I look up to you, I respect the work that
Oh,
you do.
thank you.
And it's just as important as somebody who is birthed, a birth doula who's helping people be born. This
Yep.
is really symbolic work. So
Mhm.
I think it's beautiful for you to be in the world of consciousness and awakeness, as
Mhm.
well as asleepness to the physical body,
Yep. Yep.
and also to be combining and bridging that gap. So, this thesis was made for all of us, right? And so I'm glad to have you, and thanks for your questions.
Thank
Anything
you.
else you'd like to share, ask, know, understand?
All right. I think I'm pretty good. One other question is I would also, this is an assumption, but I want to make sure I verbalize it so that I can hear from you if I'm correct. But it's important that we all follow day per day, right? So for control,
It's important.
like
That's
day one, day two.
right. That's the thing that I can make that suggestion. I'd
Okay.
love it for us
Okay.
all to be working in that same trajectory. But at the same time, if you have your own established meditation practice, at least all I ask for is that at least be 2 minutes per day.
Mhm.
That's about it as far as control goes. We're
Okay.
not, the whole is that, attracting and maintaining prosperity, this 40-day time frame is really short in the human timeline, but
Mhm.
that's where I'm hoping to see some really cool, because we're already all wishing each other, to win the lottery, to
Right.
have great success, to, have tremendous abundance in all aspects of their lives, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. So yes, it'd be great, but at the same time, I know time's a constraint. I prefer to meditate in the mornings just to get my mind right
Mhm.
before I face the day. But some people are not morning people. That's not, you have two littles at home, la 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 la. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it, but at the same time, there's no meditation police here, I promise.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your answers and for your kind words.
My pleasure. Truly, it's how I see it. So you're welcome. Anybody else, any questions? If you have it, somebody else does. All set. Well, with that being said, I'm going to end the recording and I'll be here if there's anybody who wants to ask a question off camera. So let me just end the recording.